quickly go through some cool tools. Number one, let's discover what we have. Let's know what it is. You can't manage stuff if you don't know it, right? And a lot of the legacy tools aren't looking for everything that now exists, all the IoT things. And so we really need to update those policies, and then making sure that we understand as much about context as we can. In other words, if it's a printer, let's call it a printer. So we're patching and updating it appropriately.
Not just call it a printer, let's call it a printer with something in the host name that says where it is, right?
That's a great one. Yeah. Why? Because then we can go find it and physically touch it to patch it if we have to, right? Really understanding it. Or if it were compromised, we'd know where to go to unplug it.
Yeah.
Even if somebody else was there when we were on vacation or something, right? So really understand all of these things: address, device type, current use, purpose, who owns it, and what are the things it's connected to. So really understanding what it is.
Yeah.
This way we can move quickly.
Yeah, and imagine if you didn't have this information and there was an event involving one of these hosts, then you're to have to then spend the incident looking for this information instead of having it at your fingertips.
All right, then we got to prioritize. What are the most important things? And let's fix those first, whether it's a vulnerability or a critical component of our network. So let's put it on the priority list. Let's patch it first. Let's make sure it's updated. And then let's watch it all. Let's look for these things from the inside out and all external communication as well as inside to inside, really understanding all of our communication, that flow and that methodology, so that when something happens, we can remediate. Maybe sometimes that means we isolate that segment, cut off a limb, if you will, and then we can triage it much more quickly. Or we can make sure it's not spreading to every other segment or department or agency of the city, right, or county, so really, or parish. And then we're going to skip over this one. I love to do polls, but we want to continue. How to manage your attack surface. So let's give you some cool places to go. Security is a process, not a product, right? Really makes sense. So when we talk about methodologies, we want to talk to management. Management has to decide that this is important. And once they do, then we can ask them how important and what resources they need and go down that path of designing it and figuring out. We cannot get rid of all threats, but how do we reduce the risk as much as possible is really the focus. And reducing the attack surface isn't enough. What we mean here is just doing this one piece, not in a holistic or comprehensive manner, is really just part of the solution. We want to make sure that we're doing the other pieces too.
It is good to reduce your attack surface, but it's only one part. That's really the important takeaway.
Right, and then also understand that what happens, not if but when. Yeah, we got all the security right, they still got in. What should we do? What's next?
Well, and you'll be better poised, but
absolutely,
you still have to have a plan.
And then when we talk about it, we talk about the fact that yes, we added a bunch of devices. We are by nature getting more complex, not less. So it's really hard to do these. But then we train for it. We enforce the policies. We find ways to help each of these steps to mitigate the risk. And that's really the process, really around the methodology.